Hello, welcome back to the Carb Clinic with Dr. Hugh. Glad you could join us this week on Facebook or YouTube, whatever you're watching. Please like and share us, as those buttons always do. And we'd like to have your friends give us their questions about generators, anything they want to ask. We'll try to answer them the best we can. We're going to start our show out with the disc, episode 15. All right? 16. Oh, okay. Well, it says, all right, at 2:30, Dr. Hugh, episode 15 released on 8/10/2017, so it's 16. All right? Dr. Hugh said if you guessed what the metal disc was, you'd get a prize. I guess that it is a metal disc used in the formation of a 20-pound propane gas tank. Am I right? All right, Ray. We appreciate you writing in. No, actually, it's a disc for viewing the solar eclipse. See, you got these holes in there, and you just look up through there like, wow! And you get your friends looking there behind them too. See, it's kind of cool. Not buying it, huh? Well, I tell you what, you did an awesome job. But technically, we're technical people. It is a aluminum disc that's laid into a press machine, and a ram comes down, punches it into half of a cylinder. But this particular one is half of a forklift cylinder, a 33-pound aluminum forklift cylinder. Donated by Worthington Cylinders, by the way, so a little plug for them. Nice people there. So yes, we're going to give you a prize for joining in our fun when it comes to quizzes. But I sure wish it didn't have the bullet holes in it, but it's kind of, and I don't think you should look through it at the sun either, so holes are too big. I don't know what size hole. You're supposed to use a pinhole, right? Can't shoot pins. So. All right, so where are we at today? Again, during the show, please type in any questions you may have. We'd love to answer them live. That's the whole point. And other than that, it's just filler and tickle your ears until we get a chance to get a question. Or, well, of course, we go to customer mail when we have time to get some ready ahead of time. So, do we have customer mail? Oh, good. All right. I didn't debunk the junk this week. I didn't get a chance to think about that. But if you've heard any junk, please send it in. We love to hear junk. Oh, wait, you know what? You did mention, we were looking at some videos on YouTube, and somebody mentioned that the regulator that's used on these that we use in our systems, the KN regulator, that there's a problem running it on a one-cylinder engine. And went into detail about if it's four-cylinder, how many times it shuts off, yada, yada, yada. Well, you've probably seen it too many times, but we have that picture of our Yamaha in the showroom that we bought back from the customer. Had 66,000, what did it have? I can't never remember. I know it's 6,000 hours, but 6,700, I think, something like that. But anyway, that machine has the same regulator. Oh, there you go. Yeah. I don't know if we can zoom in on that, probably not. But you'll see in the picture there on the right, the engine regulator mounted on a frame. I put that on there in 2001, and it's never been touched. That's when I put the engine meter on. So 67, 53.5, mud dauber and all. So yeah, it's the exact same regulator, never been. So that pretty much debunks that junk. It does, the regulator, if we wanted to do a show on it, we might do that. We might bust one down and show you how there's certain proprietary components inside that allow for the fluctuation of the diaphragm, because that's what it's all about. All the engines pulse. I mean, they can't fire every cylinder, so on one-cylinder engine. So, and these are used on millions of one-cylinder engines. So, anyway, that was some junk to debunk. So you want to go to
Talk about the Predator.
Talk about the Predator. Are we bringing it? Where are we bringing it? You putting it on the shelf? I mean, you putting it on my table, or where are you bringing it?
Bring it right in front there.
You want to put it up on the table? Got to move the camera if you put it there. Yeah, the old doc isn't as old as he looks. By the way, I am not a real doctor. I just play one on the internet. So anyway, today we did the Predator 2000 inverter. This is a very nice machine, by the way. It is a, don't have my hat. Where's my hat, Sean? Before I tell them what it is, I'll show you the hat we wore in the video. Of course, this is Harbor Freight, and of all the knockoffs, as they're called, Chinese knockoffs, I guess I got to go on record and say this. I stand behind the Predators as the best Chinese-made copies on the market. So today we did Yamaha, because this generator is a Yamaha. It's a blueprinted Yamaha generator. Oop, I don't look good in hats. And so we use the same snorkel on it that we use on the Yamaha 2000s. And so you'll see in the video that it's a great running machine. What do you want me to talk about exactly? He never gives me a script, so I'm just out here, you know, it's like remember those guys who run a wire from one building to another and they do it without a net? I mean, that's dangerous, you know. So anyway, I'm out here netless. So what do you want me to say about it? It's red, black, and got stickers all over.
Talk about our performance.
Our performance. Well, are you going to play any video, or is that you're just going to they'll have to wait to see it edited and put online? Okay. In our video, you know, we had to run it ahead of time, and outside, we took it outside, filled it with gasoline, ran it for a couple hours, and during that time, we went out and played with it, just see how it would perform, and we had a blow dryer on it, which, you know, a 2,000 watt generator, that's about the maximum load. A hair dryer is like the highest load. Never run off the set. Hold on. Sometimes it's easier than telling somebody where something's at. But, you know, a hair dryer, got two settings, high and low. Well, this particular one runs at right around 1,700 watts, which is right over 14 amps. And so it's designed to go in a 15 amp circuit without blowing the breaker. So when we had it on propane, on the gasoline, because again, this is 1,600 watts, so let's do the math. 1,600 watt run, 2,000 surge. This thing was spiking at 1,700 watts. So the light was coming on, and on gasoline, it kept going boom, boom. It couldn't handle the load anyway, and the computer didn't like it. So, you know, we didn't do that too much. And we just thought, okay, it's definitely a 1,600 watt. You don't run it over 1,600 watts. Well, you'll see after we put the motor snorkel on, or snorkelized it, as we like to say, after it was snorkelized, we did the same thing, just expecting it to pulse like that. It ran perfect. You'll see it in the video. Ran perfect. The light was still on. It was saying, hey, you're over 1,600 watts, but the motor didn't care. It was like, hey, I'm on propane now. I'm going to run, because propane is cool. So anyway, you'll lose power on propane. Don't you love that? You'll lose power on propane. And yet, by accident, I love that too. You know, we didn't purposely go, hey, let's see if we, no, we're like accident and go, hey, it's obvious. So what else we got to say? Oh, the way we did this one, you'll see in the video too, this particular setup. We don't have to. I can just point to it from there. That's cool. Yeah, you'll see in this setup that this is the cap. I'm going to do it anyway. All right. This is the cap that's removed to service the spark plug, okay? Because these are sealed cabinets. You want to keep the airflow solid, because it's engineered for airflow. So where did you go? You want to be over here. Oop, this thing's backwards. All right, there you go. All right, over there, yeah. All right, so we decided in our systems when we send them out, it'll come with a new cap. And so we drilled the new cap to accept the fuel delivery hose to the snorkel. And we also did 2 holes for the engine tachometer, which we recommend for hours and RPM. Yeah, that's funny. We never even got, 1/10 of an hour on it. We didn't run it that long, did we? No. Anyway, if you see that, don't say nothing about it. Also, this is our bracket that we make, and we put it on the tail. Come on, Sean, come down for me. There you go. So we reused original manufacturer bolts and bolted it on. What does all that mean? That means you can take the regulator tray off. You can pull this plug out up here that we replaced and put back the original spark plug cap. And after you remove the snorkel, you'd never know this thing ever was touched by anyone. So it's not invasive. It can completely be removed without any footprint whatsoever. But of course, you don't have to do this. What you can do, oh man, this stuff's heavy for an old man. You can easily drill a couple holes somewhere over here and mount your regulator right here, mount it over here. We give you standoff so you can get your fingers behind it and prime it. So, or come up with your own, we talked about a bar from here to here with a mount of regulator there. That would match these holes. So anything like that would be fine. But this is our proprietary bracket so that we can mount our tachometer on either side, depending on how you like it. Now you may say, well, what about the exhaust? The exhaust is right here. Well, someone asked that before we did the install, and I assured them that with a washer here, it would definitely act as a heat sink. And sure enough, the regulator, you can't even feel any temperature on it whatsoever. The plate was just slightly warm, as you would expect, but not hot. You can touch it all you want. And keep in mind, right above the exhaust right here is plastic. So, I mean, we're above the plastic, so there's no issue there. So I was sure that that would work, and it did. And it's just a beautiful running machine on propane. So there you go. And get that camera away from me. All right. So we'll just leave that sitting here. I was proud of that. I thought it was a pretty nice little install. And it's always nice. You'll see in the video, the stuff in the videos we do is real. I mean, we're not faking it. When we do the first start, that's the first start. And it was impressive on gasoline. First pull, it took off. It'll do that now in propane too. But in the video, you see we had to prime the air out of it because you had a 6-foot hose full of air and you have the snorkel that had air. But once you get that primed, purged, it's not going to be an issue anymore. And you're going to get a long life out of your generator. So anyway, that was it for that, right? Any other points you wanted to bring out, Mr. Producer Man? All right. Customer mail. What do we have? This week's snorkel. If anybody has questions, please, by the way, type them in. We'll answer them if we can before we get off the air. Is that coming over to my side? All right, thank you. I haven't seen these questions. I hate when you do this to me. I have your tri-fuel conversion kit for the Honda. It will be 10 feet from the natural gas supply. Will a 3/8 hose be adequate for the Honda? The Honda what? If it's the Honda school bus, then no, it won't be adequate. And it's natural gas. That 3/8 hose would be adequate. Let me just say, since I don't know what machine is being discussed, let me just say that 3/8 hose, I can assure you, will be fine up to 3,000 watt. After that, you could always test it and see how it works. But I've seen people put them on 3/8 hose and get 5,000 watts. But I just think that's some kind of seismic anomaly in the atmosphere. I don't know, but the charts will tell you that 3,000 watts is about all you should really want or expect to get out of that. So not knowing what generator it is. Okay, hope that answered that. All right, next one. Can you ship to Hawaii using USPS priority mail? No, they can only be delivered personally by me, and I take that personal because I think every Hawaiian kit needs to be, yeah, definitely. We ship all over the world, so USPS definitely. We tried shipping UPS ground once, and that was a problem, wasn't it? I think they sent us a bill for like a truck and a driver's uniform or something. I don't know. So never stick a ground label on a Hawaiian package. That's kind of, you get in trouble. But no, absolutely, USPS. And we have special arrangements with the post office that we have very economical shipping rates to Hawaii. And I believe even Canada, we have specials to Canada at times. You can always ask about our specials. If you're on the phone, say, hey, you got any specials going? These guys like to hide it, but I like to tell people, hey, we got specials sometime. Everybody has specials. If not, we make them up. All right. Any more mail? Oh, yeah, we got more mail. Is this live mail or is this old mail?
Oh.
Oh, okay. I'd like to buy a producer that can keep the thing up there long enough. All right. I would like to buy at least a 100-pound tank, as I have heard the smaller ones can freeze up under heavy load and long use. My question is, if I go buy a new empty tank, what should I do? Oh man, I hate to hear new empty tank. All right, if you buy a 100-pound cylinder, you have to purge it. And hey, Sean, did we record that when we purged that 100 outside that day when we did it like?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know if we did it or not. We did a purging test outside. It was amazing. We showed how it took 5 purgings before the flame actually acted correctly. And maybe we'll do a show. Write that down. We'll do that as a show. We'll show you why it's important to purge a tank. People argue about that all the time, and they don't want to tell us it's a brand new tank because that can't be it. It smells like propane. It works on my grill. No, that's not the case. It's an air-fuel mixture going into an air-fuel mixture. And I always tell the people this story because I'm full of stories. Down in Florida, I worked for I started with the propane company that actually supplied propane to a whole city. And the whole city was full of natural gas appliances. You go into the home, natural gas. But in reality, it was all propane coming in. And so at the distribution center, we had an air inductor in the system that would mix a certain amount of air in with the propane. And guess what it did? It lowered the BTU down to the natural gas level that the whole city ran off of natural gas, so to speak. So when you have air in a propane tank and now you're feeding it into an engine, it's a problem. It gets down below even natural gas BTU and it can't fire, it can't run. So anyway, to answer that question straight, yes, you can buy a 100-pound cylinder. Yes, you can get it purged correctly, safely. There's safe ways of purging it. There's tricks to keeping cylinders from freezing up. You can put it near the exhaust safely. Don't, of course, shove it up against the exhaust. But if the exhaust is blowing on it, because you got a natural heater built right into these things. I mean, it's putting out several hundred degrees. It'll keep the cylinder warm, but you don't want to overheat it because you could make the relief valve relieve. So you got to use some common sense there, which I hate using that term anymore because it's uncommon sense. Some people opt to get a post hole digger and set the tank down to the ground a couple feet. It won't freeze up. Underground tanks will never freeze up. So you can do that. I recommend painting it with some kind of mastic or something if you're going to keep it in the ground for very long. As for freezing up too, you can also do T-checks. We have a T-check assembly that can run 2 cylinders. And if one cylinder gets overtaxed where the pressure drops, the other cylinder will then kick in and supply the fuel. And then it gives the other cylinder time to catch up. And while it's catching up, the other one will supply, and then back and forth. They come down together. And I show the picture of my tractor all the time. I have a John Deere 2010 that runs, there we go, John Deere 20, he knows the stuff I talk about all the time. John Deere 2010 that runs off dual 15-pound cylinders. As you know, they're no longer considered 20-pounders because they never have 20 pounds of gas in them anymore, unless you go get them filled manually, personally. Or maybe some places in the country, people still provide a true 20-pound cylinder of gas, but it runs on those 2 15-pound cylinders beautifully. 6-foot brush hog cuts through stumps and they never freeze up. So there you have it. But they're teed together. That's the point. And you want to do a T-check because if you forgot and shut it off, forgot and did not turn off the tanks, and one tank's in the sun, it will overfill the other tank. It'll drift fill, as it's called. And you don't want to do that, overpressurize the other side. So anyway, did that answer that question? Because that was kind of a long question. Yeah. All right. What else you got? You showing that? No. Sugar lean. I love sugar lean. That's our, if you're going to put gasoline in your tank, there you go. It's 10% candy bars. Oh man, we blew a head gasket on a Ford Explorer, and the intake is just all gummed up from sugar vapors. It's just like, it must be from the EGR rerouting the sugar. So anyway, I hate gasoline. All right, any more mail? No questions? Is there anybody out there? Just type if you can hear us. Is there anyone home? All right, well, I hope you are patient and wait on the Predator video. It should be a good one. I hope you like it. It really shows how good propane is. It was impressive. Well, if you want to send us an email, please do so. You can call our 800 number anytime that the hours are there. Where is that at? Got to have that. There we go. 1-800-553-5608. Remember the old bouncing ball? Monday through Friday, 8:30 through 4:30 Eastern. Well, thanks for joining us on U.S. Carb Clinic this week. And this is Dr. Hugh saying, I hope you have a great day.